Native Americans are not going to be resolved of accountability. You don't know your own history, so you get confused when black people talk about ours. The Buffalo Soldiers were fighting for the United States. Y'all was fighting for the Confederacy. Y'all don't want to talk about how the Chickasaw, the Cree, the Cherokee all signed documents with the Confederacy, owned slaves, and voted to keep Jim Crow fucking laws. You niggas is not well.
They did a lot, and I'm curious to know what it is about Buffalo Soldiers that got Native Americans pissed off right now.
Stay sucker free in a world full of lollipops. I'm seeing all the ops. Fake news, fake views. It's an illness, the cure to the sick shit. It's the pretty realist. Yeah.
What's good, family? Welcome to Pretty Realist. If this is your first time joining my channel, welcome. Beyoncé knows Carter, the queen bee herself, has the internet they're in a bit of a frenzy right now. How I learned about the Buffalo Soldiers is through Bob Marley. Like I said, I'm not ashamed to say that I be ignorant about a lot of stuff. That's the whole point of us having this conversation. We learning together, right? But apparently the Buffalo Soldiers was the first Black army of the United States. They did a lot, and I'm curious to know what it is about Buffalo Soldiers that got Native Americans pissed off right now. They are pissed. Okay.
Beyoncé, what the fuck? We're the enemy? Bitch, did we come to your fucking country to bother y'all? We're not the ones that jumped on some ships and crossed the whole fucking ocean to go kidnap y'all and bring you back in chains. That wasn't us.
Now, it wasn't technically the front of the shirt that pissed people off. It was the back of the shirt that created a whole discussion right now. So today, I'm going to be learning with you guys and reacting to a video that I found online, which is called The Untold Story About the Buffalo Soldiers. What really made me want to look into this is you literally got Native Americans talking about that they need to just remove them from the history books. They need to just go ahead. Any proceeds that's been taken for the Buffalo Soldiers monuments needs to be given to Native Americans. Y'all got us fucked up. That's never going to happen. Okay? So I'm gonna need y'all to just get that out of y'all head right now. We already got enough beef going on with the Native Americans. This is a whole nother situation. This is damn near like throwing gasoline on the fire. So I don't know if Beyonce just being messy and she sees what's been going on, but I'm curious to know what all the talk is about. So let's go ahead and dive in deep to this story about our Buffalo Soldiers. And of course, you know, I'll be giving my commentary throughout.
In 1865, after the Civil War ended, the United States faced the challenge of rebuilding a divided nation and expanding westward. In 1866, Congress passed the Army Organization Act, which allowed African American men to serve in the peacetime army for the first time. This led to the creation of 6 all-black regiments, the 9th and 10th Cavalry and the 38th, 39th, 40th, 41st Infantry, later reorganized into the 24th and 25th Infantry.
And I mean this like by no disrespect. I'm not trying to be, you know, racist or disrespectful at all, but like y'all just came over here and just thought that y'all could just rectify, just wreck shop shit. Just do whatever y'all want to do. Just make y'all laws and imprison the people that was on this land. Child. Let me get back to this video real fast. Okay. Sorry, I had to just go back and say that.
These soldiers became known as the Buffalo Soldiers. The name was given to them by the Native American tribes they encountered on the Great Plains. There are a couple of theories about the origin of the name. One suggests that the Native Americans saw a resemblance between the soldiers' dark, curly hair and the shaggy coat of the buffalo. Another theory is that it was a tribute to their fierce fighting spirit, akin to the sacred buffalo. Regardless of the exact reason, the name was a sign of respect, and the Buffalo Soldiers accepted it with pride. Life wasn't easy for the Buffalo Soldiers. Stationed in remote outposts across the vast American West, they faced environments that tested their limits, from the scorching deserts of Arizona to the freezing winters of the Rocky Mountains. Supplies were often scarce, and they had to make do with outdated equipment and inadequate provisions. Their uniforms were sometimes tattered, and their boots worn thin. Their duties were as tough as the land they patrolled. They protected settlers moving west, escorted wagon trains, and guarded stagecoaches carrying valuable cargo. They built forts, roads, and telegraph lines, connecting distant parts of the country. They also delivered mail, a lifeline for people isolated in the wilderness, and kept the peace in lawless territories. On top of all that, they engaged in numerous battles against Native American tribes who were fiercely defending their homelands from encroachment. The Buffalo Soldiers found themselves in a complex position, fighting against people who, like them, were struggling against oppression and displacement. Despite these challenges, the Buffalo Soldiers earned a reputation for their discipline, bravery, and remarkable survival skills. They became some of the most effective troops on the frontier, often assigned the most difficult tasks because their commanders knew they would get the job done. While battling external enemies, the Buffalo Soldiers also faced prejudice and discrimination from within their own country, and even within the army they served. Racism was widespread, and they were often treated unfairly by white settlers, fellow soldiers, and commanding officers. They were given the most dangerous assignments and were frequently stationed in the most undesirable locations. Promotions were hard to come by, and their heroic deeds were often overlooked or attributed to others in official reports in the press. They endured insults, unequal pay, and poor living conditions compared to their white counterparts. In some towns, they were not allowed to enter certain establishments or were subjected to unjust laws. Even so, the Buffalo Soldiers remained dedicated to their duties. Their commitment and professionalism challenged the negative stereotypes of the time. They stood as a testament to courage and integrity, maintaining high morale and unit cohesion despite the injustices they faced. The Buffalo Soldiers participated in many significant battles and campaigns that shaped the history of the American West. They played key roles in the Indian Wars from the 1870s to the 1890s, including engagements with the Cheyenne, Apache, Kiowa, and Comanche tribes. One notable event was the Battle of Milk Creek in 1879, where the 9th Cavalry provided crucial support to besieged troops during a fierce fight with the Ute tribe. Their timely arrival and courageous actions helped prevent a total defeat. Several Buffalo Soldiers received the Medal of Honor, the highest military award for valor in the United States. Sergeant Emmanuel Stantz was the first African American to receive the Medal of Honor after the Civil War, honored for his courage during a skirmish with Apache warriors in 1870. Another hero, Corporal William Wilson, received the Medal for Bravery in Action in the New Mexico Territory in 1874. They didn't just fight on the frontier. The Buffalo Soldiers also served in the Spanish-American War in 1898, fighting in Cuba alongside Teddy Roosevelt's Rough Riders. In the Battle of San Juan Hill, they were instrumental in capturing key positions, displaying extraordinary bravery under heavy fire. In the early 1900s, they served in the Philippines during the Philippine-American War, helping to suppress insurrection and maintain order. They also worked as some of the first park rangers in the newly established national parks like Yosemite and Sequoia, protecting the land from poachers and wildfires, and building trails and infrastructure that visitors still use today. Beyond the battles and campaigns, the personal stories of the Buffalo Soldiers highlight their individual acts of heroism and humanity. Take, for example, Lieutenant Henry O. Flipper, the first African-American graduate of the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1877. Despite facing isolation and racism at the academy, he persevered and went on to serve with distinction in the 10th Cavalry. Though he faced unjust accusations and was wrongfully dismissed from the Army, his fight for justice continued throughout his life, and he was posthumously exonerated and honored. Another inspiring figure is Cathay Williams, the only known female Buffalo Soldier. Disguised as a man, she enlisted in the 38th Infantry in 1866 under the name William Cathay. She served for 2 years before her true identity was discovered and she was discharged. Her story is a remarkable example of determination and the desire to serve, despite the barriers faced by women at the time. The Buffalo Soldiers paved the way for future generations of African Americans in the military. Their dedication and professionalism challenged the entrenched prejudices of the era, slowly changing attitudes about race in America. They proved that courage and skill know no color, and their service laid the groundwork for the eventual integration of the U.S. Armed Forces. Their cultural impact is significant as well. The Buffalo Soldiers became part of the legend of the Wild West, embodying the spirit of adventure, resilience, and the pursuit of a better life. Their stories have been told in books, songs, and films. Notably, musician Bob Marley honored them in his song, Buffalo Soldier, bringing their story to a global audience and highlighting their fight for survival and recognition. In 1948, President Harry S. Truman signed Executive Order 9981, which began the process of desegregating the armed forces. The courage and professionalism of the Buffalo Soldiers played a crucial role in demonstrating the value of integrated units. Today, monuments, museums, and historical sites across the country honor the legacy of the Buffalo Soldiers. Fort Leavenworth in Kansas houses the Buffalo Soldier Monument, dedicated in 1992 to commemorate their service. The National Buffalo Soldiers Museum in Houston, Texas, educates the public about their contributions and preserves artifacts and stories from their history. Educational programs and reenactments keep their memory alive, teaching new generations about these unsung heroes. Their legacy continues to inspire those who fight for equality and justice, reminding us of the sacrifices made to build the nation we know today. The Buffalo Soldiers contributed to the nation in many ways beyond fighting. They served as some of the first national park rangers in places like Yosemite and Sequoia, building roads, fighting wildfires, and protecting wildlife. They constructed vital infrastructure across the West, including forts, roads, and telegraph lines, helping to connect and develop new towns. In their communities, they became respected figures, assisting local law enforcement and providing aid during emergencies. Many were talented athletes who excelled in boxing, horse riding, and track events, showcasing their skills in breaking down racial barriers. Their stories also inspired music, art, and literature, leaving a lasting cultural impact on American history. The tale of the Buffalo Soldiers is one of courage, perseverance, and unyielding spirit. They stood tall in the face of danger and discrimination, making significant contributions to the country's expansion and security. Their service went beyond the call of duty, breaking down racial barriers and setting the stage for future advancements in civil rights. Remembering the Buffalo Soldiers isn't just about honoring the past, it's about finding inspiration for the present and future. Their legacy teaches us that no matter the obstacles, bravery and determination can lead to extraordinary achievements. They are true American heroes whose stories continue to inspire us all. By learning about the Buffalo Soldiers, we gain a deeper understanding of the complexities of American history and the individuals who shaped it. Their experiences remind us that history is made by people who dare to stand against adversity, who strive for excellence despite the odds, and who believe in a better future for all.
All right, now. That was a cool little, okay. Shoot, that kind of gave me chills just a little bit. Like, this is one of the things that I love about history, because it's like you don't really hear, I've never heard of them before. I've never, from school, even from my family, I've never heard of the Buffalo Soldiers. So, like, this whole conversation that's going on is probably necessary. I hate that it's created even a bigger wedge between Black Americans and Native Americans, because we already got our own little beef going on. But, like, when we say that Black people helped build this country, this is what we mean. They built the railroads and worked as the first park rangers at some of our our amazing attractions, Yosemite. Like, for anybody to sit here and say that their history and that their history needs to just be removed from the books, and that their monuments and their statues need to be torn down because of a fucking t-shirt. You could go play in the street. Sorry to say that, but, like, no, they are American history. Without them, we wouldn't probably have had people like Colin Powell. You know what I mean? My family members would not have probably been able to fight. They wouldn't have been able to serve, considering the fact that at that time it was so segregated. They're the ones that are responsible for desegregating the military. And some Native American tribes owned slaves around that time, and were also paid to pretty much hunt down runaway slaves and scalp them. So there's a lot of nuances, you know what I'm saying, that goes around this conversation. The history between Native Americans is one that is kind of like being pushed to the forefront right now, because, for one, Native Americans, we honestly, no disrespect, but I've never met a real Native American ever. I'm from the Midwest. I've never met one before. A lot of them are kind of heading off to the side on, reservations and whatnot. I've heard good stories about the Native Americans. Of course, the sad tragedies that took place when it comes to Thanksgiving. But a lot of the stories are starting to come out a bit different. So this is one of the reasons why I enjoy sharing these stories on my channel, because it kind of gives you a different view of how history has been played with and manipulated in order to make certain people look a specific type of way. I'm not saying that Native Americans don't have the right to be a bit upset about what was on the back of Beyonce's shirt. It's not my place to say that, but at the same time, you can't tear down the history of these men because they have played a part in where America is today. I'm definitely interested in learning a lot more about them. Okay, pretty cool. I enjoyed this documentary. It was all right. It really it was inspiring because like with everything that's going on with the war that could have possibly went left between Israel, Iran, and United States. It's so many people who are, of course, not in agreement with it because a lot of people are scared. Of course, it's okay to be scared, but when I see so many young men, especially so many young black men talking about, oh, well, if they draft, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. There was a time in this country where it was a privilege to serve. Like we've just gotten so soft about shit. We used to fight for what we believed in. We fought for this. Our people fought for this country, fought for our rights, fought for our freedom, fought for us to be safe. And here how so many people are, well, I'm not going to serve. I'm not going to serve. Like, whatever, with your coward ass. Kudos to Beyonce and shout out to her for even wearing the shirt and allowing us to have this conversation. At the same time, Beyonce ain't gonna get canceled. She's just not. And neither is Buffalo Soldier Soul. Everybody gotta take a L. Everybody gotta take one. And by her wearing that shirt, it's really gonna encourage more Americans as well as Black Americans to possibly look more into this amazing group of men. They did some amazing things. So I hate that that shirt caused such a big controversy, but it's Beyonce. She's always causing controversy. I'm telling you, she got some people that be like looking at what's going on online. But the thing about it is like, damn, like B, why you gotta throw most? You just had to just throw more gasoline on the fire. We already got an online race war going on. Shit. Everybody mad at Black Americans at this point. You didn't have to do that, B, but I'm glad you did because I would have never knew who the Buffalo Soldiers was. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. And I am going to be switching up some things when it comes to my content. You will be seeing more videos from me. I know I took a bit of a hiatus and I apologize greatly for that. But I'm going to start doing more shorter videos throughout the week to just kind of talk about certain things that's going on across the country on a worldwide scale, just certain news reports, certain local news reports, especially if you're in Indiana and you're not aware of what's going on in your city, not aware of what's going on in the state. I'm going to start doing more news that you can use, certain news information that's not being put out there that could possibly keep people informed because we got to stay informed. And unfortunately, our mainstream media is not really doing its job right now. So it's us, the content creators, no matter how big or how small, it's up to us to keep you guys informed on what's going on. When I created this channel, it started out very differently, but I'm learning just like you guys, which is one of the reasons why I try to put out more videos and more content where we're learning about something together. A lot of these videos are situations that I was never even privy of. So I do give my feedback on it or give my opinion on it based on what I may know or how I may feel about the situation. But it's always facts over feelings over here. And I'm always open to hear your thoughts as well. So make sure you leave some comments. Let me know how you feel about this video. Do you feel as if Beyonce kind of possibly did that purposely for us to have this discussion and learn more about Buffalo Soldiers? Or do you think it was just a publicity stunt? I love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment below. And I'm going to get up out of here. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. Please don't shoot the messenger, okay? That was Beyonce. That was Beyonce's shirt. It wasn't mine. It wasn't mine. Only receive the message. If it's for you, receive it. If it's not, leave it. All right? All right. I'll see you all next time, okay? Make sure y'all follow me on all social media outlets and subscribe to the channel. Be blessed.
Just trying to
Peace.
stay sucker free in a world full of lollipops. I'm seeing all the ops. Fake news, fake views. It's an illness, the cure to the sick shit. It's the pretty real